How does a puck make up a disparity this big?
Well, he just needs to get involved in some team fights, press his buttons, drop the coil and the orb on someone, and they can pretty much kill anyone right now. Even SF is quite vulnerable with his double damage, so he just can't do anything on his own. He needs some friends before he can gank.
Yep. Up in the top, we've got Faceless doing all right for themselves. Vengeful Spirit level 7.5. Going to be going in for the Dragon Lance, just some nice easy stats on her, and she was able to find some solo time to go punch this top tower, and, well, it is the first tower to fall.
Yep, just getting nice and tanky. That is one thing that EG's lineup does not do well, is they don't kill people very well in Chronosphere. Nakes can't attack people in Chrono. Faceless Void doesn't have the highest damage output. It's pretty much just spells. We have Phoenix and Puck's abilities. So a tanky Venge can definitely survive Chrono and create some space in these fights.
I do have Universe ticking over to that level 6, so Chrono is now up, but I think, like you talked about, you can Chrono, but can't kill, so probably worth just holding on to that cooldown until you're sure you can take someone out.
It's about the threat. You know, Void's running at you with Chrono, farming the lane in front of you. Pretty scary.
Absolutely. Jabs picking up a regen rune. That's got to feel so good. Dream Coil dropped down, but Jabs makes it out. He is going to be TPing, but knows there's nothing to hold him in place. So Sumail, ulti down for over a minute. Not able to find anything off of that.
Yep, unfortunate there. No coil for about a minute now.
Up top, Universe just soaking in the solo farm, but Black just back to dominating this mid lane. Already has his treads, already has his Aquila, and 2,000 golds saved up in the bank. What's he going for here? Is this going to be, super early BKB? Is he going to stop for a luxury like a Dragon Lance?
I have no idea. What do you want to buy here? I mean, it's honestly just a preference thing. Some people go Shadow Blade, some people go Dragon Lance into a BKB style build. It's just whatever he feels like will help him win the game. Tanking up is very, very good this game because, as we previously said, EG, they lack damage in Chronosphere, so that Dragon Lance into whatever tank item will help him quite a bit. Looks like that's what it is. Full Dragon Lance coming out right now, so he's going to be very, very tanky. Venge, same thing, 1,500 health. I think EG are in they're in some trouble right now. They can't really force these lanes down, and their team fight isn't that good yet. They lack a lot of damage. Lifestealer is strong, but of course he can only hit people in coil. Phoenix still needs a bunch more levels before he does a whole bunch of magic damage, so it's a bit awkward. If Faceless do make some rotations and force EG to fight them, I do believe Faceless will take these fights convincingly.
Well, we're going to see as all of Faceless are now wadded up. We do have the hook shot online. We're going to score a nice angle onto this Lifestealer. Arteezy holding onto the Rage. He knows he's being chased, so he'll back up to the safety of his Tier 1 tower, but we'll see if Faceless is going to give up the chase. It seems like they're content to dive this. They do have XY with the swap available, and she's just going to dive right into the tower.
Yep, scared him off.
Mid lane is just going to be Puck finally getting some time to himself in lane, able to push onto the tower, but the fight's going to start breaking out now as we are going to have Ice being the first victim. He goes for the cogs, hook shots himself to freedom, but these neutrals might not be the saviors he hoped for. Still goes down to crit, the Sunray being too strong.
Time is money.
Yep, Sumail in mid getting extremely low, trying to find the solo kill on Jabs. Oh, almost lands the orb.
Arteezy's going to get stunned up, doesn't rage in time. Looks like the fight is still going to be going as Zai eating some more trees, pressing in. Trying to keep Faceless back for now. Just trying to waste their time, I guess. Meanwhile, Jabs scurrying away with a fraction of health. Still no ult on him. Hasn't found his level 6 just yet. Orb coming up, and Sumail's hunting. There's going to be a flare revealing Sumail, and now Sumail's trapped. Is going to have that orb back on cooldown and makes his way back into the river. Ice does not have that hook shot to follow up, so it looks like Sumail's just going to be juking and jiving and pulling the attention of Faceless away from the bottom lane.
Yep, meanwhile, EG have regained some control over the bottom lane. Treant's healing the tower up, so looks quite difficult for them to push that.
Universe going to be hopping out, not looking to spend that Chronosphere here, just wants to get some more safe, secure farm up in this top lane, because this Tier 2 tower starting to get pushed on as the creeps are making their way in, and yeah, Faceless definitely trying to get a map advantage going for themselves, but how much time can they really afford to spend down this bottom lane? Dust by Ice, trying to see if there's any tree and protector right behind him, but won't find much.
Mid lane Jabs is, oh, he's live actually, gets the time lapse off. Sumail drops all the spells on him with the Veil, unable to get the kill. And this is pretty good from Faceless. They're securing this tower, they're playing against Train Protector, they know that they have to finish the tower or else it gets healed right back up, so they just keep coming back down, and EG know that they can't take any fights right now. SF and Venge, when they're both sitting on Strength Treads, 1600 health on both of them. Way too tanky to deal with for now.
Yeah, this is looking really good for Faceless. They've got themselves 2 towers, and when you just look at how their lanes are divided, mid lane, Sumail still really struggling to come back in, Shadow Fiend feeling just orders of magnitude stronger than him right now, and we'll see if there's going to be some pressure in trying to kill off this puck, because so far he has evaded death.
He has indeed evaded death, but now he's going to helplessly watch as Black hits his tower with double damage.
Yeah, that is a lot of damage coming at you. You got full souls, you got double damage, and Shadow Fiend already has the Dragon Lance and most of a BKB. He is super rich. I mean, how can Black blow this, basically? He's really ahead. Is he going to be falling off into the later game, or can he just keep this lead rolling?
There's still the big team fight from EG, so he looks strong now, but once EG pick up some damage, perhaps a misstep or two, he's very killable.
Yep, going in. There's going to be a hook shot forward. Static Storm dumped out, but Puck is able to fly away. Chronosphere comes in, but they do end up catching Lifestealer in it. Lifestealer's done, and now Universe pushed away by the cogs. It's not going great so far for EG. Just going to be a leap out. Looks like Venge gets low, but isn't going to be killed off just yet. Zai can't even make it up to Puncher once. And now Jab's still going forward. The Bug's doing a number onto Sumail, and the Flare going to be dodged out by the phase shift. Sumail looks like he will be able to make it back to base. Jabs still keeps the follow-up. Meanwhile, the tower goes down to Black. That was just a disaster of a team fight from EG, and Faceless didn't even lose one person.
Yeah, Lifestealer got chronoed there. He died in like 4 right clicks to Shadow Fiend. And again, there's just no damage at all, right? I mean, SF was full HP at the end of the fight. Venge is like half.
I mean, you see
There's
that
actually
Chronosphere
nothing.
going in, and you got to be in Universe's mind. Like, that is such a great Chronosphere setup. Everyone's kind of wadded together, but yeah, we saw once the Chronosphere came out, like, what do you do? It's just going to be Universe hitting on you from inside the Chronosphere. He's still super poor and doesn't do any damage, and the fact that RTZ was clipped in the Chronosphere was a really unfortunate accident.
Yep, unfortunate indeed, but even without it, I'm not sure they would have been able to take that fight. We saw the Phoenix Egg. It was like, I don't know, they just didn't have their spells. They need items, right? They need Blink Dagger on Puck before they can actually take these fights convincingly. So they can land the Nake's Bomb well, along with the Chrono, and then they can root with the Supernova on top of it, but it's just not there right now.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about this kind of awkward support Weaver that we haven't seen run in this position much, and Jabs, he's got his medallion to finish that off early, and he's almost at the Aghanim Scepter, so we're going to see that big team fight aid time-lapse coming in. Is that going to be enough to mitigate Ice? Okay. Is that new Ags Weaver going to be enough to withstand the team fight of EG if they do combo themselves perfectly?
Yeah, it's like the complete counter to their team fight. They'll blow all these big cooldown spells. Black gets a nice soul kill. That's the Shadow Blade right there.
Yeah,
Went backward after the Dragon Lance.
Faceless Void, he's just so poor. He was trying to stay really safe in his own jungle, but Dire, they've got some great deep wards here. Getting some good vision on that. They've got another one down here on the low ground, so Radiant really can't escape to their own jungle and try to get back in this.
Yeah, EG are in trouble. This is the 5-man that doesn't stop. They have tons of damage, too, to actually take these buildings quickly, along with Roshan whenever they want, so I'm not sure what EG can do. I mean, they need some ganks, they need some pickoffs with their Puck Bomb. Lifestealer even has the Hand of Midas queued up, but he hasn't bought it yet. He knows this is a hard game, and that he needs something to be able to win this game right now.
Definitely not going to be easy here. EG have to get off some really clean team fights, and they've got to get back control over some of their map. See here, Sumail not even feeling safe without crit there to, buddy system it up. You've got Treant walking through the woods. Is going to be able to go ahead and snap down that ward. Big smoke up. XY going to be revealed, but we'll see if Nuts is going to walk forward and look for anything. The rest of EG going to make their way towards mid, but it's looking like they won't find much here.
Perhaps they do have a ward, so they see Sumail farming the camp. But
Yep, hook shot in. They do get the Static Storm down. He's silenced up, stuck in the cogs. This poor Puck can't run away. Trying to be healed up by the Sunray of crit, but yeah, Phoenix can't stop that damage from coming in, so it's looking like Faceless now get a free license to push this bottom lane as much as they want. They take the tier 2 tower. This mid laner dies once again, and it's really tricky for EG to get off any sort of team fight.
Yeah, Black is so farmed. 11k net worth at 18 minutes of the game. He's 4,000 above the next highest. And he shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon. Almost has the BKB. I think slap on an Aegis, Venge gets Solar Crest or some other pretty decent team. Actually, Venge almost has BKB. She's very farmed as well.
Yep, she doesn't have to stop for that Solar Crest. He's got this weird support Weaver taking care of that.
That's right, he does. Weaver Medallion almost has the Aghanims also, only 300 gold away from that. And this is when things start to get pretty grim here for EG. Once Weaver has his Aghanim Scepter, like, that's when SF can just stand and attack things freely without any real hope of EG being able to go on him. He can counter-initiate, and there's also multiple tools of counter-initiation with the Venge swap, so...
Yeah, we really haven't seen much out of Venge here. She's just been quietly farming up, just wandering around with her team. Got herself 1 assist, but for the most part, XY just playing pretty cautiously, waiting for those big items and not overexerting himself. And EG, it looks like they're keen to take a fight here. We do have that infest inside of Sumail. Everyone's smoked up, and they're going to make their way here. They will go ahead and pop their smoke. Puck makes its way forward. There's the splat of the infest bomb coming out. They do get that coil break onto the Venge. So far, looking good. Clockwork down. But how do they find any more kills? Crit keeps his eyes on 1, but the attention of EG is split. And they can't find anything else. Nuts will live with a fraction of health. Crit not able to keep the chase up.
Yep, they got a big Clockwork kill there. Disruptor also used his ultimate, so they should be able to secure the mid tower off this. That's just the Blink Dagger timing on the Puck. Puck finishes Blink finally. They smoked up, went for a nice kill, and it leads into a lot. But it looks like Faceless want to defend this.
They're going to be going back in. XY makes himself known. They're just going to be stunning up Arteezy. And now more TPs coming forward. Clockwork coming in. Does have the hook shot ready. They can try to set up. Now Shadow Blade is going to be rocking for the Shadow Fiend. And, well, there's the time lapse. Always keen to help with the Weaver. Now Arteezy once again going to get stunned. Not able to rage in time. And still on cooldown. He makes his way back up the other side of the stairs. And it seems like that's going to be the end of the fight. Faceless do make a hold. And this tower lives with just a fraction of health on the backside. They're going to have Zai, unfortunately trapped in there. They have vision. Shadow Fiend gets the tower deny, so, well, it's a Clockwork trade for a Treant Protector and a tower deny.
Yep, and it's looking like Roshan time as well.
They're just going to go straight on him, and a Treant Protector supplies so much of their lockdown, and they just can't fight without him dead.
Yep, the big problem is all their lockdown are ultimates, right? You have Dream Coil, Chronosphere, even Overgrowth. These are all super long cooldown spells that they can't afford to be wasting on one target when they just get time-lapse back. So unless they can really snag a whole bunch of heroes in these spells, it's not likely that they'll be able to teamfight at all.
A golden thread.
And for now, Faceless just really getting secure with their lead. EG, you can see how tightly they're playing together. They just don't want to leave each other by themselves because there's so much gank potential that comes out. Clockwork landing some pretty clutch hook shots, and man, this is tough. You talked about EG need to go in with a big fight and all their ults, but we kind of saw that here up on that Shrine fight, and it still didn't seem to be enough.
Yeah, it's a bit too late for that now. Faceless have so many tanky items on their heroes. They just... EG lack the damage to really do anything, even in these ultimates.
Well, we're going to see now. Crit trying his best, just plopping out some fire spirits, but this tower's melting low. Zai does have the ult ready. Could just start things off with an Overgrowth. There is going to be that splat of the Infest Bomb, but nice time lapse off. Weaver very quick to save his teammates, and it looks like Puck is going to be the one eating all the damage. BKB coming forward. Shadow Fiend now just going to be right-clicking onto Arteezy. Black does have the Aegis, so we can just continue to press forward here. Meanwhile, Jabs, our support Weaver, doing carry tier damage. Arteezy trying to live with armlet toggles in the trees, and it looks like he's doing his best. Might be able to take out the Venge. Oh, the Venge lives with just a fraction of health. And Arteezy's down. These 3 cores have buyback, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. The tier 3 pressure is starting to come in, and Black still has that Aegis.
It's only 23 minutes in. Shadow Fiend, ridiculously farmed, still has the Aegis, and he has a wonderful support staff behind him. The Aghanim's Weaver with the time-lapse pretty much makes sure that he can't die in these fights at all.
All right, dust sprayed out. Zai is in some trouble here, just wandering into the corner of the map, but it's looking like this could be a really early GG in favor of Faceless. They are just having some fun. Universe able to go forward, will be able to pop the Aegis of the Shadow Fiend, but he's now coming back in bigger and badder than ever. Meanwhile, Ice just hanging out in the trees, cogsing himself for fun, and EG, they just can't find any kills off the back of this. Finally, Faceless will back up, but nothing really gained for EG now. Like they want to burn down XY in the trees, TPing out. There is going to be a Dream Coil to stop that TP, and they do score the kill on the bench. Now they're looking for more. They will find Disruptor, so a little bit of a cleanup going on, but still a lot of work before EG makes up that big lead that Faceless still have.
Yep, at least they pick up 2 kills off the back of that, some gold in their pockets now. But, yeah, this is hard. At least SF doesn't have Aegis anymore. That's probably the biggest thing that came out of that team fight.
Yep.
So now, yeah. I mean, we saw the way they started that fight. They went in with one set of spells, trying to bait out the time-lapse, and then they dropped the next set of spells over the top of that, but still, they weren't able to drop the Venge at the very beginning of that fight, and now they have double BKBs up on their cores, too.
Yeah, this is getting a little bit spooky. Looks like 4 staff up next for Vengeful Spirit. Just wants a little bit more control, building up into that Hurricane Pike. And Black, he's got himself about 1,000 more gold. Already turned that Shadow Blade into the Silver Edge, so going to be dishing out even more damage. What does our Shadow Fiend go for here to just keep up this pace?
Butterfly is super good. He has it in his quick buy right now. That evasion helps him against the Lifestealer. I mean, the Lifestealer is the only actual hero that has a chance of killing him in this game. If the Lifestealer hits him like 25 times, SF might die, so he's thinking of all the scenarios here and building up towards that, which is nice.
Oh, up here in this top lane, looks like Sumail already burned down the orb. Black trying to keep Sumail on lock, and goes in. They break him, they force out the phase shift, and now Jabs they try to keep on top of this guy. Sumail just gets dropped, man. He melted. Oh man, this is unfortunate.
Yep.
Now there's no buyback, so for 45 seconds, EG have to hold without their puck, which means no Dream Coil, none of that big control, and missing a huge chunk of their damage. It's like Faceless aren't going to waste any time, just pressuring right back up this top lane.
At least Trant has healed the tower up by 500 health, so it'll take a bit longer for it to drop.
That's looking on the bright side there, Brax.
Maybe they can stall for Puck to respawn.
We'll see. Fire Spirit's plopped out by crit, but yeah, Black just dodging those like it's no big deal. And like you talked about, big change here is Venge has that 10-second BKB. I'm going to try to fight this. Looks like they're just immediately dumping out some damage onto Zai. They've got vision of him, and well, BKB popped out. There is going to be the overgrowth from Zai holding 3 in place, and a Chrono. It's probably going to be enough. I mean, they are going to be burning down the Vengeful Spirit. Static Storm comes out, but not going to be doing any real damage. Nuts! Going to be time-lapse back. The Weaver opting to help save the supports. There's a double Dream Coil as Puck spawns back into the fight. They do finally get down that pesky Disruptor, but looks like the rest of Faceless still might get out with their lives. The trade once more for crit. Black still full health, full mana. He's content to keep going, but the rest of his team, they've got it back. They can't fight without this Venge and the control of the Disruptor.
Yep, I think Venge didn't play the fight too well. Like, SF is that hero that can kind of get in there and they can save, but Venge just a bit too far up, and they focused the Venge, they're able to kill him. Time-lapse didn't come out in time. But, I mean, EG holds, their tower is alive, and it's almost at full health now, and they trade 2 for 2 in a team fight they should be very happy with.
Yeah, absolutely, EG. I mean, they're keeping that lead about steady for Faceless, but they haven't been able to turn it around quite yet. Maybe the next team fight. And Arteezy's starting to get up some big items. He's had this halberd for a while, we didn't mention it, but even in the earlier fight here where Shadow Fiend was going ham, he was disarmed for a little bit. The Lifestealer getting some use out of that, and going straight for the Assault Cuirass. How do you feel about Arteezy's build?
Well, it's definitely good. He needs to just tank up, make sure he doesn't die to these heroes. He's not going to be able to get in there and sit and kill someone in on one rage, so it's important for him to tank up as much as possible. Much better than going for a Desolator.
Black getting kind of close to that first component of the butterfly, and, well, now Sumail shows himself down here. There is going to be a swap back. He's going to go try to orb himself to freedom and drops the Dream Coil onto 2. XY confused about who they're going on. A little bit of indecision may cost Faceless their lives here. Venge already popped out the BKB, is going to be saved by the Weaver, just trying to walk her way back to freedom. There is still a tier 1 tower to help her out. Arteezy just going ham. Looks like he will opt to back off. Now the egg comes out as Black is just going to be right-clicking away, and they will be able to get down crit. That Phoenix not coming back into the fight. Now Arteezy going to be surrounded here, pushed back by the cogs. He's got no more mana. There is going to be Universe coming forward, but another time-lapse may just save the Venge. It's not going to be enough. She goes down. Arteezy's still alive. Requiem of Souls drop down. They do score the kill on Arteezy. Now Zai revealed in the trees. They popped in another sentry, and they will be able to clean up the tree as well. So Venge and that Disruptor traded for 3 heroes. Faceless pretty content with this. They'll go ahead and just clean up the creeps, back off into their own territory, and reset.
Yep, every ultimate from EG was used there as well, so... Looks like this tier 2 tower is next on Faceless's menu. I don't think EG want to... I mean, they can't fight at all without their abilities, but... It was a pretty good start, the last team fight. However, once Faceless rolls in with the rest of their troops, looks pretty tough.
Yeah, Black does have enough for that Eagle song, but probably wanted to save for buyback. He hasn't been getting too low in these fights, but... I mean, really all EG need is a big window where Venge, Weaver, and Shadow Fiend are dead, so... Black not too keen to give him that opportunity.
Yep, we've got approximately 1 minute until Chronosphere is up. Might not be enough time for them to get that mid-tier 2 tower. They're more concerned about just maximizing their farm, getting as much as they can out of the map.
Roche going to be up very soon. Going to be dropping Aegis and Cheese, something Faceless are very interested to be holding. Just getting that on Black would mean he's just so powerful and just keep pushing up, fighting, going deep into the base. Man, look at the damage coming out of him. That's a 3-shot onto a full health Treant Protector. Oh no. TP out from Sumail. He's already been killed a few too many times here, just completely murdered by Faceless, so can't be out on his own, and now Roche is up. Black just going to be soloing it down. It's got to be on EG's mind, but like you mentioned, without all those ults up, without all their synergy ready to go, it's impossible to take a big fight.
Yeah, especially with the kill on the tree. It's so hard for them to walk into that area. Trying to secure vision against Clockwork and Disruptor is not easy in that part of the map. Now Aegis and Cheese.
Yep, 30 minutes in, we've got our Venge, who's now even more survivable. Still making some progress towards her 4-staff, Dragonlance, or Hurricane Pike, but not a whole lot of growth out of her in terms of net worth. She's hanging back towards the back end of the course.
Yep, we've got a full Butterfly now on Shadow Fiend, so good luck killing him once. He has Aegis, so yeah, not happening.
He is just hitting hard, hitting fast, and this tier 2 tower does not stand a chance. EG, they've got to dump out all their ults in the right order and just get everyone where they need them to be, so we'll see how it's going to be starting off. Crit, maybe thinking about just going for that crazy Icarus dive. Sumail goes forward, blasts out of silence. It only clips onto Shadow Fiend, but it's all over in a moment. Faceless, they just want to burn some cooldowns here. There's a buybacks. Oh, we got a couple on the board.
Yep. Treant Protector is very hard to push into. He's just gonna... Even if they can't heal up the towers enough while Faceless are sieging, it still makes it difficult for SF to tank the tower and just keep hitting it over and over, so... You know, this is where EG are strongest, inside their own base.
Snail again, playing a dangerous game, poking his head forward, just looking for those initiations, but so far Faceless just gonna be holding strong, not giving anything away. Gonna go in and Nuts trying to de-ward here. Both wards end up going down. I mean, Faceless, clearly they're playing very patiently. They've got Aegis, they've got Cheese, but is there an opportunity for Faceless just to blow it, to be too passive here? Are EG just going to scale like monsters late game, or do Faceless have a bunch of time to work with?
Well, it's the slow death here for EG. I don't think Faceless are losing out on too much playing it safely, so... Perhaps they could get a bit more damage on the tower, but unless they actually break it through, there's no real point for them to try to force anything even more. They just want a team fight somewhere outside of EG's base.
That's why moving forward. Looking for that puck, but he's blinking back to safety, so again, they just make their rounds, clean up a couple of neutral creeps, and they're back in it. Now, Infest Bomb onto Sumail. It looks like they're serious about defending this time. Black taking a lot of damage from those tower shots, getting pretty low, and doesn't want to burn that Aegis without good cause. Jabs. And he's spending that time lapse on him as Crit makes his way down to the low ground, but Icarus dives right back up.
Alright, so they hold for now against the DD Shadow Fiend. It's pretty hard for him to walk up.
Talked about the slow death, and you can just feel the frustration for EG not being able to get their fight going. Halberd spent on her Shadow Fiend here, and they're going to be making an attempt. They had the open wounds going, but Black just immediately hops into that Silver Edge and sticks with the rest of his crew, Faceless, giving up no territory here. All right.
Nice, Arteezy's rocking out there in front of the base.
Of course he is.
That's what it's all about. Trying to keep morale high.
Yeah, absolutely. Black going in, a couple more swaps forward. They are going to be able to initiate onto the Venge, but the Venge forced to go and take that time lapse for the team. 2 heroes caught in the Chronosphere, and there's going to be a hook shot in. 2 more heroes from the Radiant corralled, but looks like the Vengeful Spirit, she's going to be dead. No chance to eat the cheese. Nuts getting very, very low, but able to wand back up to enough health to stay back in there. Ice trying to make his way towards freedom, but he's burning and will be going down. So EG, without losing a single hero, take down a core. And that pesky offlaner. Now Jabs is able to go and make his way back forward, but Sumail finishes off another. That's an 0 for 3 in favor of EG. Faceless just weren't quite sure how to take that fight.
Yeah, they tried to go for the swap into the Static Storm play, but didn't come out fast enough. Sumail made it out of there, and then Weaver actually had to commit the time lapse there to get Venge out of trouble. And of course, that was EG's big opening to take the team fight, so big blunder from Faceless, actually. They're not going to be able to use this Aegis very well at all. It's out in 50 seconds from now, too, so
yeah, it just
EG
like
are buying time.
They didn't have a really clear game plan on who they were going and what spells they were going to expend. It was just kind of Venge, trying her luck, and got punished immediately. And then once you lose the Venge, you just can't really take a fight unless there's everyone in position, and they weren't. So, overall net worth, slightly sloping in favor of EG, or at least getting back to moving in that direction, but Faceless still with a big lead. Their levels are good, their items are good. They do have to eventually push up and take those tier 3s, and like you talked about earlier, this Treant Protector not making it easy. Just going ahead and making sure all that damage from the last 10 minutes of push is completely mitigated.
That's a gigantic turning point for EG. Tree has a Solar Crest now as well, so it makes it even more difficult. Puck has annoying items like Dagon, Yules. Like, he can just keep poking at the SF if he wants to keep trying to press up onto the high ground, but I don't think Faceless will try to push like that again. They're looking for a Smoke Ink on Arteezy mid right now. This is a tough kill to get, but they might be able to get it.
XY just going to be popping out a little bit of bait. Gets off the Wave of Terror, and there's the hookshot follow-up. Still holding onto the Rage. He's going to be silenced for now, but is able to get off the Rage. He's going to be TPing out, but the swap is able to go and cancel that TP, so it's just Arteezy versus the world. It's going to be infesting into a creep, and these creeps are going to be walking him right back home. So, long road for this little rangy. We'll see if he's going to make it all the way in. And he's safe. Yeah, just
Kevin's halberd, huh?
Not able to keep him silenced up and locked down. And yeah, that halberd, a little bit of an unusual itemization for the Lifestealer. It was his first big item after the armlet, but really paying off, making sure Black can't do what Black does best.
Yeah, it makes him very tanky. A bit of, it wasn't the best coordination from Faceless. They used the cogs to bump him because they thought they needed a longer stun duration and able to get the Static Storm off, but that was not the case. Lifestealer makes it out. If they got that kill, they'd be walking up the high ground now, but didn't happen, so they're just going to retreat and farm up. Weaver has a Lotus Orb now, so he's building into all these utility items. I have zero idea what he'll get next because I've never seen Weaver get this farmed. He gets Gemini's Quick Buy, great item. But, both teams kind of just sitting back now. Nuts, goodbye. You were dead, sir.
Yeah, he was, jungling really aggressively with no vision in the Radiant jungle. Now Radiant, they're pushing right back up under Dire Shrine. There's going to be that time lapse spent out onto Ice, and now Black can be going forward. The egg is plopped out, but there's going to be the silence and the Dream Coil. The disarm comes forward, so Shadowfeed has to run from the egg. Meanwhile, in the Chrono, they are able to lock down the Weaver and get down Jabs. There's a TP out from XY, and the Yules breaks it right up, so the Vengeful Spirit now going to be killed as well. This is EG turning it right back around, able to leave their base and find 3 kills without losing a single hero. These are those ultimate chains we were talking about, the big team fights where all ults are spent, but now at 40 minutes in, we're actually seeing some good results for EG.
Yeah, EG have come back from quite a large gold deficit now, and they look pretty in control for the most part. Faceless can't walk up to the hill to force any high grounds plays at all. And the EG are just catching them off guard.
Yeah, definitely not expecting that. Again, I do want to point out the whole fight started off because Disruptor was farming here, and Faceless had no vision of the area, so a little bit of an aggressive play is going to cost them dearly now. Ice, just going to be flaring, trying to keep this area under control, but he's surrounded. So EG, clearly, they're getting their act together. They're bringing this net worth lead back towards their favor. How do they keep it going? Do they just have to keep taking those big 5-on-5 fights, or what?
Well, They are not playing on a timer at all. Faceless probably feel like they're playing as if they need to end this game relatively soon, or else they just won't be able to match the team fight that EG has. Like, we're getting into that stage of the game now where EG have the damage to kill these heroes in their team fight. Lifestealer is actually insanely difficult to bring down right now, and he does tons of damage to Shadow Fiend. Faceless Void just finished an Aghanim Scepter as well too, so he's starting to get items. I think they feel like if they can't end this game within the next Aegis, they're probably going to lose, so I imagine they'll play very, very aggressive, looking for kills, and EG are content to just sit back and push out these lanes and just farm.
Yeah, Black really having a tough time dealing with that halberd. We see now almost every fight he just has to kind of dance around for a couple of seconds and wait out that halberd, and he's going in for the Bloodthorn. You think he'll get it? You think that's the item?
Yeah, it's a very good item for sure. It helps with their some lockdown and damage problems. They actually don't have any way to deal with Bloodthorn right now, besides the Puck Yule Scepter, so looks good, and he's almost at it too.
Here we go. Crit has that Infest Bomb inside. The smoke going to be popped. They know someone's nearby, and XY eating up a little bit of the aggression. Roshan going to be a long spawn here, but the fight already going to be getting started. Two heroes will be inside, waiting for Sumail. He's going to be using himself up, but there's the hook shot, and he's trapped in the Static Storm, and that's a godlike streak for Black. Not going to be halberded this time.
That's no buyback for 80 seconds.
That's a lot of no buyback. Oh, man. So Faceless, seems like they're not going to wait for Roche. They do want to push because they know Puck is going to be down.
Yeah, Puck was the hero that really stopped their push in the beginning. He would always nuke the waves over and over and over, so SF would have to tank the tower. Now without that, it's going to be pretty difficult, but Lifestealer, he's got a bunch of armor. He's going to sit in the front, Heaven's Halberd up the SF, try to force him off the tower that way, but it's still very tough.
Vengeful Spirit holding that swap. We'll see if she's going to get it started on someone, but we saw how that went the last time. Now Arteezy pressing down, teasing out, going down the stairs, but Faceless, they're not going to get too greedy. They're not going to get too trigger happy. We've got to have a lot of communication on how this fight gets started, and Arteezy going to make his way forward, raging off the missile and just getting burned to about half health, but this tower still slowly getting chipped. Faceless know they've got to finish this in one sitting, otherwise Treant Protector is going to heal it right back to full, and it looks like they are finally able to go and bust the high ground, so immediately Faceless back, they can take out Shrines, and then they can go for a really nice Roche fight.
Yep, it's Shrine time. Black also has 7,000 gold on him too, so he probably wants to finish up that Bloodthorn pretty soon. EG though, they're moving out. They know that this is happening.
Yeah, definitely a pretty predictable play from Faceless, but Faceless, they've got all